Thank you, Laura, and we welcome you to Mosaic Stadium on a hot and muggy Thursday night in July. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have a game to play, but they will do so with heavy hearts. Their first game after the tragedy of last Saturday night. And yes, two families devastated and a football team that has to find a way to play the game again.
Yeah, there's been very, very difficult couple of days, and there'll be more difficult days ahead. But tonight we're going to play a football game, and talking to the players and the coaches over the last 48 hours, both teams feel like the best way to honor the memory of Bishma and their teammate Jaden is to give it all they got tonight.
How about Trevor Harris, starting quarterback of Saskatchewan, getting ready for this one, age 40, and still one of the best quarterbacks in the CFL.
Well, we've got the top two quarterbacks in completion percentage all time in this game. Trevor Harris sits number 2 behind Cody Fajardo, who is the leader and most accurate passer in CFL history. So we've got two great ones going head-to-head here tonight. Only one loss between these two teams.
Yeah, the 5-1 Edmonton Elks against the 4-1 Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Riders won the toss, they deferred, and the Elks want the ball. It is Alex Hale to kick off from the Saskatchewan 30. It is a meeting of the best in the West, and it's about to get started right now on a Thursday night in Regina. The kick from Hale, and coming in for it is Javon Leake, just outside his 20. Leake breaks it left and gets up close to the 40 before he is pushed out of bounds. So you talked about that completion percentage. The ex-Rider, Cody Fajardo, coming back to Saskatchewan.
Yeah, you have to have 1,000 attempts, 1,000 completions to get into this category, but he's at 70% this year, over that in league history. And we'll get more into how important that accuracy is for quarterbacks, especially in a 3-down game.
Watch for the running back behind him, Justin Rankin, who leads the CFL in rushing yards. Had a great start to the season. Has the football right now on first down. It is Rankin. James Vaughters coming in, and a group there in green and black to limit him to a couple of yards.
Carter O'Donnell was not available for the Elks up front at left guard, but good timing that Brett Boyko, who's playing a little bit out of position at guard, was ready to come off the 6-game injured. So he'll start at left guard beside Mark Corte, and then you look in the receiving corps. Austin Mack has become the #1 target for Cody Fajardo. Early in the season, it was actually Rankin out of the backfield. Justin Mack has become that guy.
And Rankin was able to work his way up for 5 yards, up post to the 44. It's a 2nd down and 5 now for Edmonton in this opening possession. Fajardo goes through his progressions, gets it off to the right to Rankin. We've seen him on the ground, we see him through the air, and we see him get a first down for Edmonton up to the Elks 50.
Come to the quick game that both these quarterbacks like, get the ball out of their hands early. I think James Vaughters could make a difference there. He's 6'2", but has long arms. Can he get in the passing lane and maybe knock a couple down? Go back to that linebacking core. Josh Woods has 2 interceptions, the only 2 for this entire defense, but they do get Roland Milliken back, and he can go after the football. So we'll see. He comes off after missing 4 games on the injured list.
And we have an injured player with the Roughriders. It is their strong side nickel linebacker Antoine Brooks in his 2nd year, and down getting some attention after that play on Justin Rankin that got Edmonton a first down.
Boy, he has just been filling the stat sheet too for Saskatchewan this year. Leads his team in defensive plays this season.
So it was Jackson Ford coming in, and Mike Rose as well. Some contact with their teammate as he remains down, and some attention from the medical staff. The Roughriders coming into this game at 4-1. They're coming off a bye. They last played 2 weeks ago right here at Mosaic when they decisively defeated the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Edmonton last week at home beat the BC Lions.
Now, Corey Mace has Roland Milligan Jr. back in the lineup in the secondary, as I just mentioned. But he also dressed Jonathan Edouard. So we'll see how they juggle this defensive linebacking core. And it looks like Antoine Brooks will be okay, which is good news. But he'll have to wait out 3 plays, so we'll see how they shuffle the deck here.
And there is Jonathan Edouard, you talked about, who, before Roland Milligan was ready to come back, was getting that start at the boundary halfback. And he is in now with Brooks out. There's Roland Milligan, Defensive Player of the Year in the CFL 2 years ago. And he got injured early, right at the start of the season against the BC Lions here. And they're welcoming him back, to be sure.
Real ball hawk back in the secondary.
Is he ever? So up across the 50. Edmonton and a 1st and 10 and a 3-man rush. Fajardo with the time, looks to the right, and a wide open TJ Luther has it as the Elks venture into Saskatchewan territory with another first down.
Nice concentration from TJ Luther on this deep out route. He gets in behind the layers. The first layer of the zone look underneath. He gets in behind that and just sits down on that sideline and taps the toe in. Nice throw from deep in the pocket to get it out there to Luther.
Cody Fajardo loves the short to intermediate passing game. A little longer one down there, and it gets right inside the 45 of Saskatchewan. And back to Rankin. And coming in just a couple of yards there. Looked like Jameer Thurman, the middle linebacker, came in and got him.
You're right about Cody Fajardo, and every time we talk to him going into a game, he talks about his formula for success in Canadian football. Every team that he has started for, Montreal, Saskatchewan, right here, and now Edmonton, he's got a winning record as a starter.
Grey Cup MVP in Montreal.
Absolutely.
2023. The second year with the Elks, a little pump fake. That 2nd and 8 over the middle and caught. Drive continues, another first down for Edmonton. It is Brendan O'Leary-Orange in his first year in green and gold.
He's also got the protection up front. And talked to Mark Killam before this game. He said, yeah, you know, we have to juggle our offensive line a little bit. Mark Corte is going to move to center. Cameron Carter's playing for Coulter Woodmansey. And then you got Brett Boyko, which we talked about. But so far on this first drive, Cody Fajardo has been clean back there in the pocket.
O'Leary-Orange had 2 catches for 14 yards last week. That one went for 23. And here come the Elks inside the 20. Back to Rankin, right side. Finds some room, cuts it back, and then getting some pushback. He tries to get closer to the 15. Stalls there. It's their weak side linebacker, Josh Woods.
There's Jordan Maximic, the offensive coordinator. And, you know, when you look at this team with its great balance, Justin Rankin running the football on pace for a 1,000-yard rusher and a 1,000-yard receiver out of the backfield. And then Cody Fajardo with his high level of accuracy. It's a great combination. They went away from it a little bit in the BC games, both of them.
That was their least productive game of the season offensively, finding a different way to win. 3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7. Inside the 20, looking to the right. Caught! Touchdown! O'Leary-Orange again. Couple of catches on this drive, and it puts the Edmonton Elks on the board first here at Mosaic.
Yeah, Cody Fajardo clean in the pocket through that entire drive. And this time, I'll show you just another example about accuracy and how if you throw the ball right here and not in behind the receiver, he can get those extra 3. Here comes that little sit-down route, and now you get the extra 6 because the ball is put right where the receiver can make the catch while he's running upfield. Let's go, baby.
So Vincent Blanchard, 12 for 14 in single-point conversions this year. That's one right there. And a quick start for the Edmonton Elks. An impressive drive, 7 plays, 71 yards. Capped off with this. The toss to O'Leary-Orange, who does the rest and gets into the end zone. Edmonton on top.
Outstanding opening drive on the road.
We out here, baby.
In this game, capped off by Brendan O'Leary-Orange on that touchdown throw, but it was a 7-play drive where there was really no pressure on Cody Fajardo, and put on display that accuracy we talked about in the opening of the show. It's the way you want to start when you're on the road against the the Grey Cup champion, and still are until someone knocks them off that porch. Saskatchewan Roughriders were also 1-4.
And so they kick off, and new returners for the Roughriders. Thomas Bertrand-Audin will take it inside the 10. He was back there with Johnny Johnson. They've had some injuries in that department. Matthew Sexton the last game and a short return. So Trevor Harris coming on now, the Grey Cup MVP in 2025, and as mentioned before, age 40, but showing no signs of letting.
No, and again, another high completion percentage guy, but this is what jumps off the page for me, that 12 touchdowns to just 4 interception ratio. Likes the quick game when the defense is giving it to him, but there's not much that J.C. Sherrod and this Edmonton defense can throw at Trevor Harris that he hasn't seen in his career.
Least productive game for him 2 weeks ago against Hamilton. Threw for only 211, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. They won decisively. Little play fake and first down, and throwing that one out to Keyshawn Johnson, his top receiver, and gets it up around the 30.
This is really the starting group coming out of training camp for the offensive line. Logan Ferlin leads that group. 88 starts in his career. He's got to keep that group together, make sure they're on the same page. Number 1 receivers, Keyshawn Johnson right now for Trevor Harris. But pick your poison if you're the Edmonton defense in that receiving corps.
The gain is 4. It's a 2nd and 6 after that pass to Keyshawn Johnson. Ball right up at the 30 for Harris. A.J. Ouellette beside him. He's thrown back to the right, and it is caught. And it's Johnson. Was he in bounds? They discuss. Cordell Jackson right on him. And yes, a catch for the Roughriders. Another one for Johnson and a first down.
I think Mark Killam's going to want to take a look at this, or he's reaching for that challenge flag. Didn't think live that he got his foot inbound. Keyshawn Johnson, again, actually on the throw, outstanding. Right on the outside shoulder where only he can get it. They're going to run a play quickly.
They got it off quickly. And looking deep and just a bit too far for Johnson that time. They moved quickly to get up to the line because it looked like maybe there'd be a challenge. Let's have another look at that previous play, Sid.
Yeah, well, Mark Killam was reaching for the flag, so they got back in the huddle and got a play called immediately. Did he drag the toe? It looked like he might have before the left foot hit the white stripe. No challenge by Mark Killam, and that was a slant and go, and just missed it.
It was so close. The Riders wisely getting quickly over the ball and running a play, meaning no challenge could happen now. It's a 2nd and 10. Harris, another deep ball. Coverage there, and it is Terrell Ford who knocks it down. Just bats it away as he got back in time, and a 3rd down coming up here for Saskatchewan.
Tough for a receiver to run by Terrell Ford. I mean, you can sometimes, it doesn't matter who the DB is, you can sometimes double move them. They can be veterans. But if you're just going to try to flat out outrun Terrell Ford, you're looking at a 4-2-4 guy.
Jaden Dahlke, one of the 2 men who died tragically last week, was on punt coverage, and I point this out because the Roughriders will have 11 on the field.
Time count violation. Saskatchewan number 91. The penalty will be declined. 3rd down.
To honor Jaden Dahlke, they took the time count violation, and the Elks declined it. And now they'll add a 12th player on the field and punt it away. Chapman, the new punter this year for Saskatchewan, inside his 35 to get this one away. Javon Lee backpedaling inside the 10. Elks have the lead. They got a ball again now after a 54-yard punt and wrestled out right at the 25 there by Bertrand-Audin. Good start for Cody Fajardo, having an excellent year with the 5-1 Edmonton Elks. 7-play drive. Time now for the Fisher investment stat of the game. Suits, you talked about completion percentage. Well, this is minimum 1,000 completions, but you got Cody Fajardo, Trevor Harris, and a guy they each had played with in Ricky Ray.
Yeah, a mentor to both of them, Trevor Harris and Cody Fajardo, and he ranks 3rd all-time on that list. And this battle between these two ultra-accurate quarterbacks are going to go back and forth. the season goes on.
Fajardo's 4 for 4 as a touchdown pass. Back with the ball. As said, he likes the short passing game when he can get yards after the catch. He doesn't there, but that went to the guy that has the touchdown, Brendan O'Leary-Orange.
Yeah, we had a great conversation with Cody about that and about accuracy and how important it is, especially in 3-down football, where if the ball is slightly behind, even on a throw behind the sticks, if the ball is slightly behind the receiver, he gets tackled immediately. Or if he has to go up high to get it, he gets pulled down immediately. If you put it in the right place, he can get yak yards.
Just a gain of 1, O'Leary-Orange, 2nd and 9 now. Fajardo moving around, and that one intended for Josh Cephas. A little bit behind as he reached back and took a hit. That falls incomplete, and the Elks will have to punt.
Yeah, and there's an example of what happens if you're not. You get on the run, you get flushed. That's why defenses for both these quarterbacks, as good as they are with their accuracy, the whole goal defensively is to get those quarterbacks off their mark, get them a little bit uncomfortable and throwing on the run, and maybe you force a throw that's not as accurate as they're used to.
So the punt now from Jake Julian, and a booming punt it is, and it gets bobbled there by the new returner, Thomas Bertrand-Hudon, and a flag comes out. And look at this return. He's got something going. Excuse me, that is Daniel Weeb. Daniel Weeb heading into the end zone, but it looked like he stepped out, and as mentioned, there's a flag back there. They have had to do returns by committee. We saw Bertrand-Hudon earlier, and Weeb, who filled in after the injury to Matthew Sexton 2 weeks ago.
Well, this is a classic case of...
During the return, holding. Saskatchewan number 28. 10-yard penalty. First down.
of a kicker in Jake Julian out-kicking his coverage.
Long punt by Julian, and what would have been a longer return by Daniel Weeb. He couldn't find the handle, but when he did, took it a distance, all coming back by penalty. Numbers this season, but the last game 2 weeks ago against Hamilton, least productive, threw for just 211 yards.
Yeah, sometimes numbers can be a little deceiving, and when you're on a roll, you're winning games, you find different ways to win.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's defensive struggles, your special teams. Sometimes it's a penalty at the wrong time that can cause the problems.
Well, they took a penalty here, a holding penalty on that punt return, pushed them back to start at the 2 for Trevor Harrison. By the way, 2 weeks ago, they did win that game decisively, 38-7. Faking to A.J. Ouellette, and a deep throw down the rail for Harris, and it's caught. Dropped it right in the bucket for one of his leading receivers. Keaton Schaefer-Baker has his first catch of the evening.
Cordell Jackson is trying to get Mark Killam to throw the challenge flag for an offensive pass interference here. I saw live a little bit of hand fighting back and forth. One of the top receivers in the league going head-to-head with maybe the best DB in the league this year. Just a flat-out playmaker in Cordell Jackson. What a season he's had early on here.
Gets them all the way up to their 39. Harris to Schaefer-Baker. Here's a carry by A.J. Ouellette. The run for the first time, and a good run it is on first down, getting it up to the 45. How about the Elks defense?
Well, last year, Grey Cup champion Malik Carney had his personal best season in the Canadian Football League. He is now in Edmonton Elks playing against his old team. Take a look at that secondary. Kenneth Logan is that Sam linebacker, almost a DB. And there's Cordell Jackson that, if you add the 6 of them up now, have played together for 2 years. And now the communication's at a high level. This team leads the league in interceptions with 10 so far this season.
Ouellette gains 6, 2nd and 4. Harris over the middle. That's complete to Sam Emelis. Getting Emelis involved, and he gets it up to around midfield, and another first down for Saskatchewan.
The throw to Schaefer-Baker gets him out of the hole, and that's the first goal when you're backed up inside your own 10-yard line offensively. Get out of the hole, so even if you have to punt, you can flop, basically flop the field, but pick your poison here. Keyshawn Johnson's become the number one guy, but Keon Schaefer, they work together into the boundary quite often.
Kind of 1 and 1A, just 8 yards difference in receiving yards between Johnson and Schaefer Baker. Who could play only 5 games last year, was a big part of their playoff run, as was Emilus too. Good block by Olad. That's just off the fingertips and goes incomplete. A flag is out with that pass. It was intended for one of the new receivers for Saskatchewan. That's Johnny Johnson. He took a pop as he was reaching up to get the ball.
Yeah, I think
Procedure, no end. Saskatchewan. That'll penalty be declined. Second down.
You know, I think he did, and he's regrouping right now, Johnny Johnson, but Cordell Jackson turned to avoid the big hit. I mean, this was a crossing route, and watch Jackson kind of turn away so he doesn't make helmet contact. I mean, it could have been much worse, believe me. He just basically tried to turn and protect himself and not hit Johnson high or lead with his helmet.
Well, you've been right about how good he's been this year and how hard hitting too, including one penalty he got and a hit that we thought was pretty good, a touchdown Kelowna against the BC Lions. But back in the secondary, he could certainly hit. As you say, he let up there, and still Johnson heading off.
That's why there was no penalty on Cordell Jackson there, hitting a defenseless receiver.
Sure, he's been trying to figure out what can and he can't do.
It is difficult because the game happens so quickly. However, that was a good decision. That was a decision by Cordell Jackson in a split second.
Here the Riders up a yard shy of midfield. It is a 2nd and 10 Saskatchewan in a 7-point hole. Harris, deep shots, got him to the 10-5 touchdown. Keon Schaefer Baker.
Schaefer Baker, little bend to the inside, bounces out. Doesn't matter if it's man or zone here. It turns into man because it's the deep receiver, and Cordell Jackson is in chase and can't catch Schaefer Baker.
Cover us. Let's go.
Keon Schaefer Baker with his 4th touchdown of the season and his 2nd in as many games. Had one against the Ticats a couple of weeks ago. The point after for Alex Hale is through. And we got a ball game early on here at Mosaic. First quarter and 3 minutes to go. The Riders were down. Some long passes from Harris to Schaefer Baker. Got them out of it and got them into the Edmonton end zone.
Spots respectively, Keyshawn Johnson and then KSB, which obviously now adding more yards to that. Harris said all 3 of those guys are 1,000-yard receivers, but he did say it's not like I see them and go for a certain amount of yards and think, okay, we're good now. It's all about that. Nope, we have to elevate and we have to hit the ceiling. So you guys know Harris, he always wants more.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of great receivers to choose from, you know, and they'll take their turns. On that drive, it was a 5-play drive. Schaefer Baker had 93 of the 108 yards of it. He got him out of the hole on that big one and then finished the drive with a touchdown.
Short kick here by Alex Hale. Who's the last to touch it? It's the Elks. Brock Mogensen in. And they'll have a good field position, too, in the Riders zone. So Saskatchewan trying to take Edmonton off guard. And Mogensen pushes it out to make sure they maintain possession of the football.
Heads up play by Mogensen to understand that you just have to be the last to touch it with your hand out of bounds. You can't kick it out of bounds. And if he tries to recover this, the Saskatchewan Roughriders may have been able to get to him. But he just goes over, taps it with the right hand, last to touch, Edmonton ball.
Heads out of bounds at the Rider 51-2. So we got a 7-7 tie. Saskatchewan trying a trick. Edmonton's got the ball. Fajardo calls him out. Little toss on the sweep there to TJ Luther, who turns the corner and he gets it inside the Saskatchewan 45.
When you have the sort of the stats and the resume that Justin Rankin has, fakes to him and defensive linemen looking at him and keying on him are going to give those fly sweeps a little extra chance, a little extra juice getting around the corner. Jameer Thurman's got to lock in first to Rankin. Make sure he knows where number 5 is. Those fly sweeps can be effective.
TJ Luther, one of the new receivers for the Edmonton Elks in 2026. It's a gain of 7. Little toss right to Rankin. And they've got him covered up. And they swarm him. And they take him down, too. The way you have to defend against a running back like Rankin. Lost yardage, 3rd down coming up.
Well, you know that the BC Lions have probably put together a little blueprint on how to try to contain Justin Rankin, because in the 2 games against the Lions, as a team, the Edmonton Elks rushed for 25.5 yards a game. All other games this season, it's been up at 164 to Rankin. So a blueprint from the Lions, and it looks like Saskatchewan was watching it.
He had 7 carries for 9 yards. That's it against BC. You're right. Do the number on him. Well, it's Weed back for the return and the punt, but lets it roll into the end zone. If it rolls all the way out, they do not give up the point. Hence the new Rouge rule. So wisely, Weed watches it go. They'll get it out at the 40, and still no point on the board more for Edmonton.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you in part by The Score Bet, an official gaming partner of the CFL.
Smart play by Weed. And understanding of the new rule. And as we go along in the season, coaches, players, special teams guys, offensive stars are starting to understand the importance of the excellent field position to the 40, letting a punt go through the end zone. It was close to stopping before it went out the back line, but if it goes out without playing it, no point, and you get good field position.
Good decision by the rookie Daniel Weave. Inserted on punt return with injuries to James Fletcher, Matthew Sexton deep right again. Intercepted by Terrell Ford. Came across. He has 2 picks on the season and nearly had another one as Trevor Harris is testing that secondary again with another deep shot down the rail.
Yeah, in this first quarter, Trevor Harris has had the time, like Cody Fajardo, the time to do a lot of double moves. This is that sluggo, that slant and go route to Keyshawn Johnson. Terrell Ford just really baited the throw. He looked like Johnson was open, but Ford said, no. Ball's in the air, that's when I go get it. They've had 8 interceptions in the last 2 games.
Ford had one last week against the BC Lions. 4-man rush, 2nd and 10 at the 40, swinging it out left. A.J. Ouellette does some dancing and then puts his head down and yards after the catch for a first down, 2 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yeah, even in those throws for both these quarterbacks, if you're accurate, you give your back a chance. And accurate means right out front, so when he makes that catch, his eyes are upfield. Where are the tacklers? Where can I make my move? How can I shake and bake somebody? If you throw it behind him and he has to turn back around, probably don't get the first down.
Ouellette likes to show the moves, in addition to that power, of course. He can steamroll as well. He's got it again on the first down. Trying to steamroll there, and he runs into Joel DeBlanco. Excellent linebacker who's not afraid of the physical stuff as well for the Edmonton Elks. So that's the first quarter. It was started. Opening possession for the Edmonton Elks. Drove down in the touchdown to Brendan O'Leary-Orange, but back came Saskatchewan. Kean Schaefer-Baker with the touchdown to make it a 7-7 tie. A quarter at Mosaic. It's tied at 7. Look at the rushing yards. There have only been 6 rushing plays so far in this game. Suits, you talk about 2 quarterbacks with different styles. We've seen this so far in this game.
Yeah, both very accurate, of course, as we talked about through the first quarter, but different styles in that Trevor Harris is double moving his receivers. He's getting them down the field, taking those deep shots. 2 to Schaefer-Baker on that big drive from deep in their own end, whereas Cody Fajardo is, he's going to dump it down a little bit more, intermediate throws, doesn't mind throwing behind the sticks as long as he can keep moving. Now, both of these offenses, as you mentioned, need to get their run games going in this second quarter.
And they've got very good running backs, too. The league leader in Justin Rankin and A.J. Ouellette, who was 2nd in the CFL in rushing yards a year ago, over 1,200. Lots through the air so far here in this Thursday night at Mosaic. And Harris throwing again to start the second quarter. It is caught, too. It's Samuel Emelis. Another catch for him. And another first down here for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, so what they do here is the Riders are going to get one-on-one, and when he sees the one-on-one and he sees the straight man coverage from the Edmonton secondary, take a look at Trevor Harris taking a bit of a hit there that was real borderline.
I've seen ones like that called. No flag there at the 44, and that catch by Emilus. And here's a left. Evades one, Edmonton Elk, and then a couple more get there. The rookie, Jabomi, along with DeBlanco, to limit the damage here by Saskatchewan.
Now, we sit up here in the booth, and we say the offense has got to get the run game going. And then I look at the stats and say, okay, Edmonton has the #1 ranked defense in the league. Saskatchewan has the #2 ranked defense in the league when you add up all the stats. So it's one thing to say it, and it's one thing to say it from up here, but these defenses are playing championship level football on both sides. J.C. Sherritt's got them going, and they were patient. That coaching staff patient with this young group last year. It's paying off this year.
That's a guy who could stop the run, too. Pressure coming, and Harris gets rid of it, completes it, too. Emilus down inside the Edmonton 25, and again, the Riders have something cooking here at Mosaic.
So last play to Emilus, they go with straight zone.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Edmonton #2. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And this time they go with the zone look, and this time after Trevor had talked to the official about watching, he gets the call with a high and slightly late hit. Add on some extra yards.
There's Malik Carney, too. A year ago, he and Trevor Harris were teammates celebrating a Grey Cup title before Carney moved on to Edmonton. His first game back at Mosaic since, but gets flagged there. It sets up a 1st and goal just inside the 10, about the 9-yard line for Saskatchewan.
33 yards on that last play when you add the penalty.
Riders were down 7. Came back to tie it. And in business here early in the second quarter. Fake left. Touchdown, Samuel Emilus.
So as Britt mentioned, they got the three-headed monster in the receiving corps. A series ago in the first quarter, it was Schaefer Baker with 93 yards and a 108-yard drive. And to start the second quarter, Trevor Harris goes to work to Sam Emilus. The Elks try a man look. They go to a zone look. They get down on their own goal line, and the quick slant gets them in the end zone.
And for Sam Emilus, that is touchdown number 5 on the season for him, leading the way with the Riders after a 7-play drive. Alex Hale, the point after. These teams trading touchdowns for the most part. Edmonton struck first, but back comes Saskatchewan. They're talented Canadian receivers. First it was Schaefer Baker. Sam Emilus in the end zone in a 14-7 Rider lead. The league lead in touchdowns. That was number 5.
Well, 70-yard drive that was with the penalty. It was 15 yards was added onto it. But it wasn't really penalty aided because Sam Emilus went to work and had the first downs anyway. And then ended up finishing it. There was the penalty. That was the throw to Emilus that got him down on the doorstep, and then a quick slant off the fake and play action to A.J. Ouellette.
Earlier in the first half, Emilus, 4 catches, 48 yards and a touchdown. Schaefer Baker, 2 for 93 and a touchdown. Off the kickoff, Javon Leake crossing his 20. Getting close to the 30, and no further there. He's taken down, and the Elks going to work. Justin Rankin has mentioned yards coming at a premium, not rushing much so far in this game.
You know, the expectation goes through the roof, though, doesn't it? I mean, first of all, he hasn't changed as a player, so we're going to see a lot of that magic, probably some more tonight, where he looks like he's corralled or caught, and he gets out of it and makes a big game. But they've been implementing Javon Leake into the offense a bunch over the last 2 weeks. So that obviously will take some touches away from Rankin.
So he's in the sideline. Rankin is. Leake is in now. Faking to him. And on that play action pass, a deep shot, complete to Keon Julian Grant. Cody Fajardo likes the short and intermediate passes, but he's not afraid to chuck it deep from time to time, and they connected a big one there.
Deep play action fake. When the running back lines up that deep from the line of scrimmage, the defense automatically thinks he's going to get the ball. I think that behind coverage. And the Elks are in business. Julian Grant blew a tire right about there.
Well, that was a 68-yarder, though. Up until that play, Fajardo had thrown for 69. And they're down to the 11. 1st and 10, Edmonton. Trying to tie this game again and handing off to Javon Leake with 16 carries before that, heading in. But not much there. Jameer Thurman, their star middle linebacker, certainly fired up there.
After Justin Rankin started the season with 3 consecutive 100-yard games, middle linebackers took notice. I can guarantee you they went, okay, when I get my turn, I'm going to be locked in, whether it's Javon Leake, Justin Rankin. They want to run, and they're going to run for 100 yards a game. They don't want to do it on our defense.
But so far today, Suits, these teams are pass happy.
That's what those middle linebackers are thinking all the time.
2nd and 11 now. Fajardo to throw here. Underneath. It is caught by Leake inside the 5. Touchdown! Javon Leake added to the offense for this drive, and it pays off with that play as we're a point after away from a tie ball game.
Yak yards, giving his receivers a chance, even if he's throwing it behind the sticks, behind the goal line. If it gets there quickly and it on a little curl like that on the hook zone, you can get your tailback the ball and let them turn around and find the first defender and make a miss. That's where you get the yak yards. I don't know this for a stat, and I'm going to look it up at the end of the game, but every team that Cody Fajardo has been in, I bet the yak yards for their receivers has been tops in the league.
Well, it's something he told us that he thrives on, like to give them a chance to catch the ball and do the rest themselves. Javon Leake did it that way for the Edmonton touchdown. 14-14, second quarter.
And they are also master of the timing game. If Cody Fajardo on this little dump and you see Leake throughout the entire play, if he's late on that throw, Jameer Thurman closes that extra 1.5 yards, and Leake can't put his right foot in the ground and make a miss there. That's one of the best tacklers in the league. Maybe the Rider best tackler, Jameer Thurman. But if you give it to him early, Javon Leake could even make him miss.
By the way, you talk about completion percentage for these quarterbacks, Fajardo and Harris combined 17 to 22 for 77%.
There they are.
Lots of passing in this. Passing offense galore. And here on the return for the Saskatchewan Roughriders is Johnny Johnson. As mentioned, they've had to do a lot of juggling to the return game. That's a 27-yard return for one of the newcomers to Saskatchewan and Johnson.
All right, Trevor Harris, you're up. This has been fun.
Say it's a circus.
Well,
Fajardo 8 for 9, Harris 9 of 13.
Just 2 veterans going to work, and it is high level of execution for both these offenses. That doesn't mean they'll do it every series, but you know what I'm talking about.
I do. I'm seeing it here. Harris came to Saskatchewan after Fajardo ended up with the Montreal Alouettes. Spinning is A.J. Ouellette and Malik Carney, the ex-rider, ex-teammate of his. And he looks pretty fired up tonight, coming back to Mosaic Stadium.
Yeah, I would think he'd be a little bit fired up. I mean, he started 3 years in Hamilton and then moved to Saskatchewan for a couple, had a personal best year and gets a chance to play against his old teammates, still buddies with a lot of those guys, I'm sure. And stop for no gain, and he gets up pretty excited about that.
Sorry, I was talking about the connection between Harris and Fajardo. It was when Saskatchewan signed Harris in 23. Fajardo ended up going to Montreal, where Harris was. Doesn't run a lot. Looks like he wants to run now. Noah Taylor has got him wrapped up as he does not pick up the first down. He gets up to about the 43. Well, that connection, they were each in Saskatchewan, one after the other, and you look at the all-time, you see that Trevor Harris just passed Cody Fajardo for Rough Rider all-time passing now.
Yeah, and remember, Fajardo in that year was a crossbar away from advancing and taking the Riders to
back in 2019.
Absolutely. Trevor Harris got him there with Ottawa. Quite the journey for both these guys. Different styles.
Absolutely. Oscar Chapman with the punt now. That's taken by Javon Lake, who just scored a touchdown the last time the Elks were on offense. 46-yard punt as he takes off out of bounds just outside the 40. Back comes Fajardo now after the Edmonton defense stole Trevor. Cody Fajardo used to call this place home, so what's it like coming back? Let's head back to Brad.
Yeah, thanks, Rod, so much. And first off, he went to Montreal from Saskatchewan, and he never had the chance to play the Roughriders because he was always injured. So he said it was fitting last year when he had his first start as an Edmonton Elk that he got to play the Saskatchewan Roughriders in that first game. And before you see Trevor Harris in 7, you saw Cody Fajardo in 7. Lots of jerseys still in the crowd, and he pointed that out. He said, I love coming back to Saskatchewan and seeing tons of Fajardo jerseys still in the crowd because it's a sign that I still made an impact in this province and for this team. He said, people message me all the time saying, I'm a Sask fan, but I'm also a Fajardo fan, and say, I'll root for you every game except against Saskatchewan.
That one exception, Brett. Well, here's Justin Rankin. Oh, they haven't seen much yet, and he takes a hit up high. He's going down, actually, and that's Roland Milligan in on him after that pickup. Well, Brett talked about this. This was a year ago in Week 8, by the way. It was also Cody Fajardo's first start in place of Trey Ford for the Edmonton Elks.
Yeah, Edmonton Elks, and, you know, as an Elk so far, and he's 11-8 coming into this game in 19 starts. But to Britt's point, he was 27-17 as the starter for the Riders.
That's some big games for them. He's got the ball now in short yardage. That's a second down. Just needed to get to the 50, which he does, going to the left side. I guess it did come out a little later, and Sask has the ball, and they're taking it to the house just in case. But no, it is marked down at the 50, in which a celebration going on the Riders
The
sideline.
ruling on the field is down by contact.
There you go.
Jameer Thurman just followed through with the play, didn't hear a whistle clearly, so he just kept playing, took it to the house the other way. But let's see, knee down. You see the knee down. He's got the ball
Elbow
still
too.
secured.
Oh,
yeah, down by contact.
Long. Hey, play it out. Play it out. Go for that run. You never know what they should do, but it is down by contact. A first down for the Elks. They're at their own 50. You got a 14-14 tie. Under 7 minutes to go until halftime. Quite the ball game here in Mosaic on a Thursday night, and that toss is incomplete. It was to Austin Mack. That would have been his first catch, his first target, but got the hands on it, but couldn't hang on.
Boy, Marcus Sayles has been just a leader in that secondary. You know, when you take a look with Roland Milligan back, you've got a secondary that can probably, you can make an argument that they're the best in the league. And I know there's a whole bunch of other DBs going, hold on a second, we're early in the season, but with the way Marcus Sayles is playing and Jackson Ford is safety and Milligan back, that's a good group.
Yeah, they've been missing him. Fajardo underneath the game to Rankin midfield. Thurman bumps into him, but it's others bringing him down. Josh Woods to finish it off. So still no first down, getting it to about the Saskatchewan 53, maybe a couple yards short.
Marcus Sayles leads the DBs on his team in tackles. And I always check for that stat. Which DB is getting his nose dirty as much as he possibly can? And for the Riders, it's Marcus Sayles.
He started his career in Winnipeg, won a Grey Cup there, went on to the BC Lions for a few seasons before heading over and winning another cup with Saskatchewan.
How about that footwork from Marcus Sayles?
Not bad at all. Well, they spot it just outside the 51. And the crowd picking.
Time count violation. Edmonton number 7. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That's called home field advantage.
And that was a third and a little over a yard. But yeah, nothing will fire up a Mosaic crowd than helping get a time count violation.
Yeah, the communication breaks down, whether you're in the huddle or just out on the line of scrimmage. Fajardo turned around. I'm not sure what he was arguing. Maybe he thought that he wasn't alerted when the clock started. But, you know, as soon as the play is dead with the new rule, the 35-second clock starts, and then the rest will blow in the 20-second. You have to snap it.
So it took away any idea going for it on that third. The punt from Jake Julian, an end over end one. Down placed inside the 10, a 49-yarder, and not much on the return there for Weeb. Right around the 10-yard line where the Riders Roughriders will go to work. Well, strength, skill, and stamina. It's going to take it all to win it all. On a new season of The Amazing Race Canada, all new. That's Tuesdays on CTV, and you can stream it the next day on Crave.
Yeah, if you're drafting a partner for that show,
You're not taking me. Thanks. I finished that for you. What were you going to say? Is that what you were going to say?
I was going to say you're not drafting me. Let's take a look at.
I thought you were going to say this. I got no chance. That's Nick Weeb.
Yeah, I think he's a little banged up.
No relation to Daniel Weeb, who's, as I say, been returning punts for Saskatchewan.
Nick Weeb, backup linebacker for the Riders, out of the U of S. Scott Flory's program.
As is Daniel Weeb. I said,
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
related, but both came out of that Huskies program.
So many players have. At the middle of that as he's trying to almost get out of the way of his teammate.
Daniel Weeb.
Yeah.
Nick Weeb getting tripped up. Trying to help out Daniel Weeb and remains down now. Hot and muggy day here in Regina. Cooling off a little bit now as Nick Weeb, special teamer and backup linebacker as well, lips off with the Rider offense on the field. First meeting of the season, first of 3 this season, between two teams that have merged as the best in the West so far. 5-1 Edmonton and 4-1 Saskatchewan.
Yeah, back-to-back here. So they'll play this and then go to Edmonton next week. And then the final game of the regular season for both these teams, for Saskatchewan.
And who knows what that's going to mean when you're talking about
Exactly.
playoff positioning in the West Division. First down and 10. Right side off tackle. A.J. Ouellette. It's around the edge and keeps pushing up for a first down. Saskatchewan on the ground.
Yeah, that's really what he does. He just keeps pushing that line of scrimmage. Great patience. Nice cut there to bounce outside. And he's in the secondary. Thor getting her done.
Second leading rusher behind Dedrick Mills in 2025 and won another Grey Cup. He won one with the Argonauts on this field back in 2022 and a couple of touchdowns in this game, and then of course won in Winnipeg last year with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in his second year with the Riders back then. So 2 rings and a player is down. That's Tamari Fox, defensive lineman for Edmonton.
He was in the starting lineup for Jordan Williams. More juggling for Mark Killam. But yeah, interesting with all the discussion on Justin Rankin and his great start to the season this year. How right now, as we stand, Dedrick Mills leads the league. And A.J. Ouellette is right there. Rankin's been, he dropped down. I mean, at the first 3 games of the year, Justin Rankin was 100 yards ahead of everybody.
Just taken off.
Yeah.
There's Ouellette, right side. You're right, excuse me. Rankin second now in rushing yards by 2 heading into the week behind Dedrick Mills.
Yeah.
They
So
had it going.
Calgary with the best run game in the league at this point in the season. You go back even 2 weeks, Justin Rankin was, way ahead. And A.J. Ouellette he's around there. He's around the top of that list.
He came in 8th, but he can close the gap quickly. He's at 236, but
and he missed a couple games.
and he did. He missed a couple. This is
He's
for him.
He's 35 touches away from Rankin. Carries.
He had 83 yards rushing last week. Here's Harris throwing off to the left and falls a bit short of the intended receiver, Keyshawn Johnson, with Terrell Ford coming in.
Yeah, there was 2, Kobe Williams and Terrell Ford, that both jumped that out route. And when you do that quickly, I think Trevor Harris, he saw this pressure coming, so he had to get rid of it. There was a free hitter coming off the edge, and it was Kenneth Logan. So he had to get rid of it. But but two defenders jumped the out route, and there was a go route that was wide open. Had Trevor had an extra second.
So Oscar Chapman in to punt it away again for Saskatchewan inside his 20. That's a low knuckler heading down for League at the Edmonton 28. Picks it up. Tries to get something out of it. And Edouard comes in and the ball comes out. And the Riders do recover. They discuss. Was this a fumble?
Javon Link is arguing his case.
They wanted an explanation in that, and they're setting up as Edmonton football.
Corey May's got his eyes on the big screen here to see if the ball is out before he's down by contact. Leak with a move there.
That is close. If his backside was down, he's down, and they quickly pounce on it. Corey Mace, though,
he wants to take another look.
He's challenging. He wants to have another look at this.
Saskatchewan is challenging down by contact. We'll review the play.
As announced by the referee, Tom Valesi. So it was Thomas Bertrand-Hodon who fell on the ball, and you see it coming out just as Leak is sitting down on the turf.
Another angle for you. See if that backside was on the ground before the ball came out. Tough to tell from that angle. I think that first angle might be the best one right here. And stop it there. Oh, man. The ball is coming out there, but his butt is on the ground.
Yeah.
Is it out just before it touches? Now, remember, the ruling on the field was that he was down by contact.
Which is so important to point out when calls are this close, because if they can't make it conclusive, they will stick with their original call, which is Edmonton football.
And it has to be clear and obvious.
Not sure that is, as he was just about to touch the turf, and you could see signs of the ball coming out.
But if I'm Corey Mace, I'm absolutely challenging this for outstanding field position here. Because it was that close.
That's the oddity. Watching at full speed, it looks like a fumble. And then when you watch it slow down, and at what point is the ball coming out? Here's Tom Valesi.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It'll be first down, Edmonton. Saskatchewan will be charged a timeout.
Look of frustration from Bertrand-Hodon. Thinks he recovered a fumble there. And a little conversation on the sideline with Mark Killam. Challenge. They did not win the challenge. They lose the timeout as well. Edmonton has the ball. And we're heading down to the 3-minute warning here in the first half from the Edmonton 33 after this play. Fajardo off to the left to Rankin. Looking for the yards after the catch, and he has some too for a first down for Edmonton.
There's not many in the league that can make the tackle on Justin Rankin in the open field with this field this big.
Clock down to 2:53, and the official 3-minute warning has been given. Quite the game. Back and forth they go. We got a 14-14 tie late in the first half.
Toronto tempo, huh, baby? You ready?
Flip-flops.
In your veggies.
Sorry.
Kate could never do that.
We didn't promote anything what we're doing at halftime.
Laura on the panel. Sounds like they're in fine form getting ready for halftime. And it's been an interesting game. Edmonton led 7-0. Saskatchewan scored 2 touchdowns. The Elks came back to tie. Here's Fajardo from the Edmonton 44. Down the right and wide open. It is caught by Austin Mack. His first catch in this game late in the first half. And here comes Edmonton down inside the Rider 40.
Yeah, real tough when a quarterback breaks contain like this. Looked like he had that flat route initially, but Cody Fajardo wanted more. He had Mack down the field. Once you get outside, you put the defense in a real bind.
Gain of 27 yards down to the Rider 39. 2:46 in the clock till halftime.
Love that call from Jordan Maximic.
See what they do next here. Handing off Justin Rankin. Broke a tackle and worked his way through. It's kind of the Rankin we come to expect from the earlier games where it looks like nothing behind the line and he turns it into something, nearly a first down.
Yeah, Same guy, and he's going to keep doing stuff like this. He was caught for a loss in the backfield. Didn't catch the number. It was Roland Milligan, another great tackler in this Saskatchewan defense, and he just fought off that tackle and got a real manageable second down here for Cody Fajardo.
Finally was Marcus Sales to bring Rankin down, but he picks up 8. It's a 2nd and 2. Approaching the Rider 31, right back to Rankin, and he cannot get the first down on that carry. That time they got him around the line of scrimmage, and he was going nowhere. It's Antoine Brooks, injured earlier in the game, but seems just fine.
Just fine making that tackle and making it a decision for Mark Killam. It's a yard, but it's a long yard, almost a yard and a half, 2. And he's sending out the field goal team in a tight 14-all tie.
Not taking any chances here. Trying to get some momentum heading into the dressing room and get their lead back. As said, they scored the first points. They led 7-0. And then the Riders turned it around.
Now that they put the 3rd down marker down, it is a full 2.
Not worth the try. Vincent Blanchard, 17 of 18 with the longest of 50. This one put down at the 38 for Blanchard, who puts it through. And the Elks have their lead back, 17-14, 2:04 to go until halftime in this first meeting of the year between these top 2 teams in the West.
Be tempting for Mark Killam, wouldn't it? You're, a yard and a half, 2 yards from a new set of downs. Quarterback's moving, made a nice throw on the run. Let's just go for it on 3rd down. But that's the prudent decision. That's conventional wisdom says take the points, 2 minutes to go. It's a tight game. You're on the road. And throw your defense out there for the final 2 minutes.
Think of those momentum swings if they don't get it, and the Riders go back and put points on the board at halftime. Wanting to avoid that scenario, but it is at the 40. Rider football. 3 receivers to the right. Harris straight over the middle and caught by Keyshawn Johnson. Loses the football, and the Elks, it's still bobbling around. Who wants it? Looked like the Elks would have it, but maybe the Riders got back to it. So they're going to sort this one out.
Well, no question on the fumble there.
Saskatchewan football, so they do keep it, and it is Keyshawn Johnson, the one who coughed it up, who ends up with it again.
Yeah, that's the guy who's usually fighting back the hardest to make sure he can make amends as quickly as possible. First of all, the ideal throw and the timing on that bender, and it is clearly a fumble. Ripped out of there, and through the mayhem, somehow Keyshawn Johnson finds the handle again.
It was Kenny Logan with a nice job to punch it out, and Kobe Williams looked like he had a shot at it, and Terrell Ford, but no, ultimately, back in the hands. Yeah, Corey Mace. Nothing to see here, nothing to see. Our ball, 1st down.
Keep everything moving.
Timer, please reset the clock to 1:50.
Well, the Riders now a 1st down away from field goal range, comfortable field goal range.
At the 47. First down, 1:42 on the clock. Swinging it out to Emilus. Turns it up, and he gets it down close to the 40.
That's not giving in and saying for Mark Mueller and this offensive football team to say that, we're going to just settle for a field goal here and tie the game. What he's doing there is getting a manageable 2nd down, knowing that there's lots of clock, lots of time left to actually play your regular offense.
2nd down and 3 after that 7-yard pickup. Just approaching the 40. Back to the ground to left. Pumps his way through, gets down close to the 35. It's another 1st down for Saskatchewan. 1:19 on the clock. Alex Hale, by the way, longest attempt this season in his first year was 47. His longest kick was 38. He's 10 of 13. In college, he did kick a 53-yarder, so he certainly has the leg. He just hasn't attempted many long field goals so far.
Oklahoma State.
Approaching 1 minute to go. Harris throwing, caught, first down and more. Schaefer Baker, who has a touchdown in this game, gets it near
this time. He is throwing his receiver to the inside so he can make that turn and get those yak yards. If this is a high ball or he throws it outside shoulder, he's got to turn the other way, and Terrell Ford makes the tackle. He threw him inside open, and that gave Schaefer Baker a chance to turn upfield immediately and pick up those yak yards.
Here we go, Riders, the Edmonton 12. Left side of left, turns it up inside the 5. Another good run. Some tough yards in there for their bullish running back, A.J. Ouellette. Down to the Edmonton 4.
Nice clock management, too, because not only are they looking for the major, but they're trying to make sure that if they score the major, that they're not giving Cody Fajardo and the Edmonton offense any more chances in this first half.
Mark Mueller, the offensive coordinator, calling out the plays here. 34 seconds to go. And Saskatchewan in business, and it's Tommy Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
What a turn of events late against Hamilton 2 weeks ago when he had a couple of carries, long ones, ended up in the end zone, not just short yardage. Known for his short yardage right side, wrapping him up after maybe a yard. Jalen Garnes in there. You know what Big 17 can do, and Jabome too. They're just trying to keep him out of the end zone.
2 Edmonton Elks, Jabome, and man, that was a struggle. That was a keep pushing Tommy Stevens. Linebackers, the pile, digging, clawing with your nails for the guy beside you in the locker room.
Whole bunch of size and power there, and back-to-back plays to put the game away against Hamilton. Stevens went 26 yards, straight up the middle, and then 14 yards for the touchdown.
That was, by the way, Al Pacino. Just a little Al Pacino quote there.
Any given Sunday?
The inches we need are everywhere around us.
First down. Edmonton doesn't seem to like the spot for the call, but it's a first and goal, and there are 19 seconds left, and Trevor Harris is back in. For the Riders to take the lead at the half. Harris into the end zone. No, looked like it was caught for a moment there by Bertrand Houdon, but it was the coverage there by Garnes, and the contact made, and the ball came out.
I have to say I'm a little surprised with Tommy Stevens pushed and got that extra yard to get the first in the new set. With 19 seconds, there would still be time for Tommy Stevens to...
Oh, Schaefer Baker, sorry.
Maybe take 2 shots, and Schaefer Baker, that pass broken up by Jalen Garnes from the safety spot.
Kean Schaefer Baker nearly had his second touchdown there. Del Duncan Busby in. Second and goal. Harris tries again, loads up. Touchdown! Keyshawn Johnson.
That's the way you fucking do it.
Right at the back of the end zone.
And
4 seconds to go.
Yeah, and just 4 seconds to go. Great clock management with almost 3 minutes to go when they got the ball back. Saskatchewan makes sure they eat up all the clock, move it down into scoring territory, and then great accuracy on the throw to get Keyshawn Johnson away from Terrell Ford and over the outside shoulder.
You talk about the big 3. Schaefer Baker, Johnson, Amelis, and all 3 have a touchdown in this first half. The point after from Alex Hale. Out, down, kicked and good. 4-point lead Saskatchewan with 4 seconds left until halftime. As Trevor Harris is saying, yeah, that's more like it.
A little look off, see if he can keep any free player back there away from Keyshawn Johnson. That's by design, to look to his left and then go backside post. But you see how he led Keyshawn up the field. If he throws it across the field and has him run sort of right across the back of the end zone, Terrell Ford could cut underneath and possibly get there. Throw it up over that right shoulder, and you got a chance.
Came in with 479 yards receiving. Up there in the receiving standings in the CFL, and that is touchdown number 4 for him. He has 4. Schaefer Baker now has 4 on the year after his earlier one, and Emilus has 5.
That's one of the most fun parts of the game is when you're just scored, or you have an interception if you're on defense or a fumble recovery, and you go to the bench and you get to tell all your teammates exactly how it happened.
So here's what I did here.
Yeah. This was the coverage. This is what I did. I want to know with that group, which one was wearing the high heels?
I believe it was Laura.
Okay.
We didn't have a monitor. Didn't see what they were up to in the studio. But Laura and the panel coming up at halftime. Just seconds away, Skylar Griffiths, the rookie fullback for the Elks on the kick return. With zeros on the clock and a very interesting, eventful first half for Cody Fajardo and the Elks, who had the lead a couple of times, but gave way to the Saskatchewan Roughriders on their final possession for Trevor Harris. 3 touchdown passes and a 21-17 lead.
And that's why Tommy Stevens came out when he got the first down in short yardage, and they were on the 2 or 3 yard line. Put Trevor Harris, put your leader out there, and he'll throw it for a touchdown.
One of the receivers, mentioned one of the big 3, Kean Schaefer Baker, got him out of a hole with a big catch from Harris, and then on the same drive, ended up with a touchdown catch as well. 2 catches, 93 yards on that possession alone. Schaefer Baker standing by now with Brett.
Kean, over 100 yards receiving for yourself in that first half. Some big plays from yourself as well to get them. How do you explain the success of those?
One simple and easy question. God. You know, our good friend Dalkey's up there watching over all of us. We got him in our hearts, and we're just going out there and playing for him today.
Earlier this week, Trevor Harris was asked about the luxury of having yourself, Sam Emilus, and of course Keyshawn Johnson all healthy and in the lineup at the same time. What's it been like for you to play alongside them and see them also get touchdowns here tonight?
Greatest blessing in the world, man. I got the best group of people to go to work with every single day. I wouldn't even call it work. It's just having fun. It's a blessing that we get to go out here and do what we do. Love shows up different on tape, and you can see on tape, on TV, we out there loving on each other.
Thanks for your time, Kean.
Appreciate you lots. God bless. Go Doors!
All right, Laura, we expected a good ball game, and so far, it's happening.
The Elks defensively have seen this route from Keyshawn Johnson a bunch of times. It's just that quick slant route into the middle, and Kobe Williams, who didn't start the game, Leonard Johnson did at halfback, but is rotated in. He plays the play on the quick slant, gets his hands in there, and Myers comes up with his second interception. That's the 11th on the season for this defense.
He started playing in the CFL, and he's got 2. Gavin Myers. Edmonton ball at their 41, down 4. And Fajardo wide open is TJ Luther. Milligan there. And Luther with Woods, too, gets down close to the Saskatchewan 30. Big play through the air.
Inside seam route on the 2 receivers side to try and pull coverage away against the zone. And Luther just widens to get outside those numbers. The player beside him ran straight through the middle to try and hold the safety.
TJ Luther now has 3 catches for 59 yards. It is down to the Rider 32. Faking the handoff off to Luther again, left side, and he takes a hit and works it down to the 25. It's Jackson Ford coming in to stop him.
Jackson Ford has won the job at free safety. 5th straight start for him. Nelson Lacombo injured. 2nd round pick back in 23. Made some big plays in short yardage, but getting settled in nicely at that safety spot for the Riders.
Gain of 7, down to the Rider 25. Edmonton threatening, down by 4. Fajardo quickly to the right, looking back to Luther again, who has it around the 20, and that should be another Edmonton first down.
Good job just to secure that with DeMarcus Fields coming downhill hard on him. Just have to protect the ball, protect yourself. Fajardo tried to get to him as quickly as you can. Good all-around football play because it moved the chains, but it was a big hit.
the Saskatchewan 19 now. Third quarter. Fajardo with the heat coming, and he can't get away. Tried to, the ball came out. Mark Cordy tackling Caleb Sanders, but the signal is it is a second down with lost yardage.
Yeah, I think Cody Fajardo was down by contact here.
Timer, please reset the clock to 9:39. 9:39.
So Fajardo stays in. I think his leg was trapped in that play and went down, limping a bit. Here we go. Second and 17 at the 26. Quickly off to the right, and no, not caught. Intended for Keon Julian Grant, and a flag comes out right around the line of scrimmage.
That's in the holding area.
Holding. Edmonton number 53. That penalty is declined. Third down.
As you called, the left tackle Brendan Bordner, so field goal unit to come on and see if they can get to within a point.
Keep watching on Cody Fajardo. He got off after that previous play, limping a little bit.
Vincent Blanchard, in his third year at Laval, 18 for 19 on the year, 1 for 1 on the night. This one to be put down at the 33, and it is perfect. 2 for 2, and we got a 1-point ball game. Fajardo seems fine right now, looking things over on the tablet, but a little cause for concern for a moment after he was sacked there and got up limping. And they continue to lead the way, Glenn.
Yeah, lead the way, and it's not close, is it? I mean, Montreal defense has got a great reputation for turning the ball over, yet they're 6 turnovers behind them. Another interception caused by Kobe Williams on the tip to Myers. And that's just the 5th interception for Trevor Harris. He doesn't throw those.
Up against 15 touchdown passes, 3 of those tonight. A.J. Olette, Noah Curtis in, and getting some help too, and not much there for Olette, maybe a yard.
It's almost like for Trevor Harris to throw an interception, it has to be something like that, where it bounces around, hits a guy, is tipped. You know, something like that with his great accuracy. And nice debut for the rookie, getting a couple of picks from the D-line spot.
Yeah, first year USC Trojans. Yeah, just inserted into the lineup, and yeah, the deflection at the line last week against BC, so he gets a pick. You think for someone in that position to be kind of a one-off, and what does he do the very next week?
He's going to start talking trash to the DBs in practice.
Well, he's tied for the lead. And that one is caught coming in a crowd as well for a first down. That's Sam Emelis, another catch near midfield.
When you're playing against these veteran quarterbacks as a DB, I think you've got to believe what you see, and that he will try to fit the ball into tight windows. Sometimes you're almost surprised when you see an underneath linebacker like Kobe Williams would have seen on that little crossing route. But Trevor still fitted in the window.
Right at midfield and a 1st and 10. Olette grinding his way through for about 5 yards, working for it. He had 43 on 10 carries up until that one. Tack on 5 more.
Took an extra second just to clean up the shrapnel from that run off the left side.
Broke in the CFL back in 2019 with the Argos. There's Justin Rankin, and things quiet for him. 7 carries for 24 yards only. There's 7 carries for only 9 yards last week. There's Harris again. Deep shot. Here we go. Double coverage. Garns right there, along with Logan too on Sam Emelis. They had that well covered, incomplete. 3rd and 5.
It's a long way to go for Kenneth Logan to rotate back to the deep middle. It's the deep post right here. And Kenneth Logan is going to be that deep defender in the 3 deep zone. Little man, it's almost a combination coverage, but it turns into a double team when the ball arrives.
Oscar Chapman back to punt it away. Leak and Luther are the returners. A high end over end punt by Chapman and taken by Leak at the 15, who's hit right away coming in. Jonathan Edward, and only a 35-yard punt, but good coverage and essentially no return there for Leak, who walks off. Edward contributing on defense recently and on specials. Loving that. 14 of 17 for 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And a bit of a concern after the last time they had the ball. You see, still looks like a little bit of a limp.
Yeah, it looks like he's favoring it a bit, but the adrenaline will kick in once they break the huddle.
And they are to within a point to the 3 points off the turnover, and he's 82% passing. 70% of the season coming in, 82% tonight. On the ground they go. Rankin running it. Hit hard, but a good pickup for Justin Rankin, working it up around the 25.
It really was. These running backs are fighting and clawing for every yard, and Josh Woods, who has the 2 interceptions for the Riders defense, makes that hit.
Running Rankin again, and this time he got turned around and maybe 2 more yards, but it still will be it's enough for a first down, actually. Just enough to move the sticks.
Jordan Maximic starting to get Rankin involved now as this game kind of unfolds.
Gets the ball up to the Edmonton 28. 21-20, Saskatchewan leading. Past the halfway point of the third quarter. First and 10. Faking to Rankin. Looking to the left and with plenty of time. Fajardo can't find any receiver and finally does take off. And picks up about 5 more yards for Edmonton. Taking some hits in this second half.
Yeah, I got an extra couple of yards probably to make it 2nd and 5, but I was looking at a guy who's kind of limping and favoring a leg after the last series. Probably could have hook slide, and now he's got to get that jersey back on right. There we go.
He was scrutinized for all the running he did when he was Saskatchewan's quarterback a few years ago. They wanted him to stay healthy, and he steps up. He's directing traffic, and he throws it down to the right, and it's caught beautifully. Scrambling out, and T.J. Luther comes back and helps him out with a big completion and a first down.
Yeah, and Fajardo orchestrated this the entire way. I'm going to show you the receiver and Luther and what he does here. These are scramble rules. So there's Luther, and his route is an out and up. But now he realizes quarterback's in trouble. Cody's waving to him, and he comes right back to the football. So scramble rules are pretty simple. Deep receivers come back into that intermediate zone. Intermediate receivers find a hole. Short receivers head up and go deep.
He's had some big catches, 6 of them for 93 yards. Fajardo deeper over the middle. It's caught by Austin Mack, who could be gone. Touchdown, Edmonton Elks. And they retake the lead.
From Austin Mack, little outside fake, and then right down the hole. Zone look, Josh Woods and the linebacking core a little shallow on their drops. I'm not sure they could have got there anyway.
Just the second catch of the night for Mack. Quiet night, but 57-yarder. So 2 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown for Mack. And lo and behold, the Elks have come back to take the lead. 4th touchdown of the season for Mack after a 5-play, 93-yard drive. 27-21 Edmonton. His 4th touchdown of the season. Just his 2nd catch of the night, but it was timely. The Elks have the lead
cover two. Here's your two deep defenders for Saskatchewan. Now go ahead and run it and show what Edmonton does offensively to pull those two deep guys away. Here's the receivers that are going right straight down the field, pulling the deep defenders with them, and Austin Mack says, I'll take the hole. This is the way you beat a cover two, is to go right down Main Street, and a perfect throw from Cody Fajardo.
That's Cody Fajardo's 20th career 300-yard game. On that completion for the touchdown, he's 16-19 for 324 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Great night for Fajardo.
Fajardo was just illustrating. This is a cover two look.
Showing him what he did. Been doing a lot of it tonight. Let's see how the Riders offense responds with Trevor Harris. It's Johnny Johnson on the kick return. Across the 30 and just can't quite break that tackle up to around the 34 for Saskatchewan coming on. Back and forth they've gone. Riders trailed early by 7. Had a couple of touchdowns to take the lead. Late in the half on a field goal, Edmonton went up 3, and then Saskatchewan drove back and had the lead at halftime. And now Cody in the classic phone call now and talking over that last drive.
4-1 versus 5-1. Did you expect anything different?
Yeah. Well, the only thing I could think of was these two defenses are so good that it could have been lower scoring, but the offenses, especially through the air, not so much running. Harris and Fajardo both getting it done, and here's Harris's turn. Got it, open receiver. It's Schaefer Baker again.
Oh, man.
With Cordell Jackson on him, so Saskatchewan's not wasting any time.
Yeah, listen, this isn't Schaefer Baker against a rookie DB. This is Schaefer Baker for the most part tonight against Cordell Jackson. Nothing fancy, just straight go route down the rail, and these two quarterbacks just going toe-to-toe.
Perfectly placed by Harris, too, with those long arms of 89, reaching up to get it down to the Edmonton 33, just like that. 2.5 minutes to go until three-quarter time. 6-point difference, Saskatchewan down but moving. Faking to Olet. And off the right to Emelis. Good yardage after the catch. To get another first down as Emelis gets it down inside the 20.
Little slow to get up for 19, but he's okay. Trainers didn't have to come out. Call him the yak pass. And when you're bang on accurate with an underneath throw, your receiver catches it and turns that corner before any defender can get home and get there close. A little bit slow getting up. He catches his breath. Although it's been a track meet.
Sure.
Receivers are just trying to get their breath, probably.
Right down to the 20 for Emelis. Saskatchewan. This time, Olet has the ball in his hands, and A.J. Olet works his way down closer to the 15. So they sprinkle in the run with all this passing.
Oh, boy.
Now he's down. And holding his right leg around the knee, Andrew Harris, his coach, running backs coach, and one of the greats of all time, who starred in BC, of course, in Winnipeg, and ended his career with the Toronto Argonauts, but he was a teammate of A.J. Olet in Toronto, and certainly helped him out. And a look of concern there, understandably, as Olet gets some attention.
Take a look and see. Clean tackle. Oh, I see. There's right after.
No, moving in a way it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Awful sight for A.J. Olet in the way, just at the end, after he was down, the way it twisted. So looking at that right knee.
And I don't think Noah Curtis, he was being blocked down the field. I'm sure he realized he was actually making contact there.
A.J. Olet has already missed a couple of games this season and played most of last year. The year before his first in Saskatchewan was injury riddled. He could only play in 8 games. hoping he's okay as he puts some weight on it, testing it out a little bit, that right leg. But
Thomas Bertrand Hudon will get some reps while they take a look and examine. Good news there, though, that he's walking off with putting full weight on it.
they had used Quali Conley when he was injured earlier and missed a couple of games, but on the depth tonight, you talk about Thomas Bertrand Hudon. Next up. Flares out to the right. The throw goes to the left. It's caught down close to the 10. That's Ian Schaefer-Baker close to a first down. Not quite.
And Trevor Harris in this offense has been money in the red zone. I mean, he's upwards closing in on 80% when they get inside the 20 coming into this game. And those touchdown throws tells you they'll go with Tommy Stevens to get the first down in a new set. You get upwards of 80% in the red zone, you're getting it done.
Sure are. Stevens is a big part of that when it gets near closing time. Talked about before how
Timeout, Saskatchewan.
the Riders, Corey Mays calls a timeout at a critical point in this game in the final minute of the third quarter. And getting close as the time clock was going down the play clock. They didn't want to get that time count violation.
Watch when Tommy Stevens breaks the huddle here and how it almost looks like as he's approaching the line of scrimmage, it almost feels like he's growling. Like,
he's bigger than most quarterbacks.
Well, and bigger than most Bears.
It's at the 11. It's 3rd and 1. It's Stevens time. No mystery here. He lunges ahead, and it looks like yet another first down gained by number 17. First and goal, Saskatchewan.
Coming up on the line of scrimmage. Just like, okay, let's go.
We got to stop that guy.
Jabome's tried a couple of times.
Yes.
Held him to about 3, but Riders only needed 1 for a first.
And more ball punching, too, so they're just inside the 10, about the 9-yard line now. First and goal, Saskatchewan, looking to retake the lead. They're down by 6. And they keep it on the ground now with A.J. Ouellette injured and out. Thomas Bertrand Hudon, the Canadian who went to college at Delaware, is back in, and that is the final play of the third quarter with the Riders pressing. They got a 2nd and goal coming up. Back and forth these teams have gone. Some sweet plays in offense and defense, and Fajardo hits Austin back for that touchdown. Edmonton leads it heading into the final 15 by 6. And these are 2 good defenses really being tested tonight, Suits. 256 net yards alone in the third quarter.
These are the 2 top-ranked defenses when you add up all the stats and analytics. Edmonton was number 1 coming in, Saskatchewan number 2. Big numbers from these 2 veteran quarterbacks. And in the CFL after 26 games, this is game number 27. Our average points per game is up over 60 points. And with these 2 veterans, we shouldn't be surprised that this one's going to be over 50 for sure with a quarter to go and a 1-possession football game.
Well, passing yards and galore, and the net yards through 3 quarters was just over 750, 751 to be exact. 657 passing yards between these 2 veteran QBs. And it is the Riders knocking at the door, trying to get their lead back. 27-21, 2nd and goal at the Edmonton 7. Harris. End zone, touchdown! Gets it. Del Duncan Busby has it. First catch of the night. That's a biggie. 4 TDs to 4 different receivers.
sped it around. Harris didn't like what he saw to the field side. Came back, went through his progressions, and there was Duncan Busby right on the goal line. It's a game of inches and split seconds. And Duncan Busby finds the end zone.
That was close, right at the goal line. Cordell Jackson just about got there, but as the point after and a crucial one right now goes through, that gives the Riders the lead again. Duncan Busby from Vancouver with the Bemidji step. And he has himself a touchdown in a game that is just looking off the charts right now. 7 plays, 73 yards.
Yeah, a bit of a forgotten man until now, but he sits down, he sees 2 defenders into that middle looking to cover any deep receiver, deep threat in the end zone, and they forgot about Duncan Busby out there by the sideline, by the cone, but Trevor Harris will find him. He went right through. He went to the field side first and came all the way backside to Duncan Busby.
See how close Cordell Jackson got to getting his fingertips on that? Well done, man. Duncan Busby is 1 catch for 7 yards. But right now, that's the touchdown with the point after that has got the Riders back in the lead in this tremendous showdown between the top 2 teams in the West.
Both these quarterbacks, they get to the bench, they're right to the tablet, and they're not. There's almost, well, there's a little bit of celebration when they throw the touchdown, but when they start getting back to that sideline, it's business because they know Cody Fajardo's turn. You're gonna have to get something together.
I was gonna say, regardless of who has the lead, they know at this point of the game it's not gonna last. Edmonton football, 1 point behind. Javon Leake across the 25 up about the 28-yard line. Trevor Harris, 21-29, 340s up to now with 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. And a little secretive word there to Jack Cohn, the number 2 quarterback. And over to you, Cody. What do you have now? 16-19, 324, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
And a little more Rankin in the second half.
Getting electric here at Mosaic. Ball carrier Javon Leake, or no, the play fake. And Fajardo wide open for Mack, who hangs onto it. So open and running in for his 2nd touchdown of the night. 81 yards, Austin Mack, and another play action fake to Javon Leake. And in one play, the Elks have their lead back.
And that's why Trevor Harris is business as usual after taking the lead. It's Cody Fajardo's turn. Deep handoff fake again to Javon Leake. And instead of a post this time, it was a corner route from Austin Mack. And wow, did he have to show body control to turn while that ball was in the air, get his footing again, and run underneath that throw.
No defender in sight, but he's got to hang on to the football. And they're going for 2 right now with a 5-point lead currently. Austin Mack has 3 catches on the night for 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. This for 2 to make it a 7-point game. No! Shades of the 2019 Western Final for Cody Fajardo, who was with the Riders back then, and the post got in the way. He'll remember that, I'm sure. And that denies him, and it remains a 5-point game. Wow.
They won't be there next year.
Well, there's a penalty against the Elks, but yes, next year.
The corner, not the post. He starts out right here, and watch the body control when the ball's in the air. Cody Fajardo with the deep fake. There's the corner route. Shallow corner. There he is right here. Now watch how he has to turn back with the ball in the air. He's wide open, waiting for that to come in, and catches the back half of the ball with tremendous body control and footwork to flip around like that, find it, track it, and catch it and go.
What a catch by Mack. Wide open. And this kickoff is going down penalty. Illegal kick out of bounds against Blanchard.
Kickoff out of bounds, Edmonton number 26. First down.
That'll move the Riders up the field, trailing again by 5 points after the 2-point conversion. Did not work out. But Austin Mack, we were thinking earlier, late in the first half, haven't really heard much from number 3, but he's just exploded in the second.
No, I had a feeling he'd be there at some point in this game. It's such great chemistry going back to their Montreal days.
It really is. And if you're going to average 55 yards of reception, maybe you don't need to catch the ball as often.
Just a great reaction to the ball. Cody put it out there for him, and I can't explain enough how difficult that is, running full speed and trying to flip your body on the other side.
Mack has 165 receiving, 138 in the second half. Here's that sweep. Schaefer Baker, and a good tackle coming in as the rookie, Daryl Jabome. He's in on Kean Schaefer Baker.
Martin Killam dresses 10 defensive linemen as part of his roster construction. And what that means is deep in games like this, he will have fresh players out there, guys that can fly around. Now, Jabome's been playing all game long, but he gets those rotation D linemen take up those blocks.
He stepped up with the injury to Nick Anderson. To the left and caught midfield on that second and long. They had lost a yard before, so that's Marshall, but still 4 or 5 yards shy of a first down. Third down coming up at midfield, and Chapman will be coming on to punt.
Real good tackle in the open field there by Kenny Logan Jr. In space against Keyshawn Johnson and got him to the ground.
Only the second 2 and out for the Riders on this night. Oscar Chapman from Adelaide, Australia. His first year with the Riders. Punting it down to Javon Leake inside the 10. Touched it. Bobbled it. Tries to get back on it, and he does. So a good break for the Elks if they keep possession of the ball, but that was close. As Leake didn't find the handle before he took off. Edmonton football. Fajardo. When you get offense like this, you get a lot of fantasy points. And look at this. Fajardo with 32, Harris with 27. Our producer, Peter Buchanan, has both in his league. Why do you think we're showing this?
Wait a minute. How do you get both of those quarterbacks?
I was going to say, how does this work here? Well, our director, Franklin Rubenstein, has Chad Kelly and Vernon Adams, I believe. So this is some league.
We're not done yet.
6 in this in your group, I believe. Well, Peter Buchanan's having a good night. The throw, they just keep racking up the yards too and getting themselves some space. That's TJ Luther. He's had a very good night from Cody Fajardo, and there's a first down for Edmonton.
Yeah, I would suggest this is a pretty much breakout game for TJ Luther. He's chipped away. He's been targeted 33 times coming into this game. So it's not like they're not using him. But he is a rookie. He just looks more and more comfortable all the time.
Luther has 7 catches for 109 yards. Quite a night. Among several receivers who are having big nights. None of them yet. First and 10. Here's Rankin. And breaks a few tackles and finally does get taken down by Tavon Campbell after he gets it up across the 30.
Important series here for the Rider defense and what Jordan Maximic might have for Corey Mace and this group on defense. Not a lot of RPO action from Cody Fajardo in this one. That one pass option type look where he rides the dive and then can either pull it or go to Rankin.
Rankin got 4. He's got 39 on the night. It's a 2nd and 6. Fajardo empty backfield. Top fake. And again, runs out of time. The sack and a big one for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who put him all the way back to the Edmonton 20, where they will have to put it away.
Devin Adams. That was just four-man pressure collapse in the pocket. Who could get there first?
Committee there. James Votter's in there too. So the sack of Fajardo. Jake Julian back from his 10. Daniel Weed, 40. Some speed, 50. Tries to cut it back. Brock Mogensen takes him down just short of midfield. The WNBA's biggest stars take center stage. That is on Saturday in the 2026 WNBA All-Star Game at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. You can watch this live on TSN, CTV, and on Crave as well. Beautiful look at the night sky of the Mosaic Stadium on this July Thursday night. And a memorable night for, of course, so many reasons. Saskatchewan trailing by 5. A couple of yards shy of midfield. Working away, it's Keyshawn Johnson. Takes that quick pass. DeBlanco takes him down, but it's the first down.
Part of Edmonton's strategy in a lot of these series has been to kind of give up the underneath throws. A bunch of slants from Keyshawn Johnson. Now both teams have tried the double moves, and certainly in the first quarter Trevor Harris did that. He's hit some deep balls. But I wonder if J.C. Sherritt, defensive coordinator, is going to look to maybe add some pressure.
46. Another quick one to the right, down to the 40, and that is caught as well.
See, again, quick game. Whether it's zone or man, they're giving him a little room underneath, trying not to let anybody get in behind you, especially on a double move. So now the question is, at what point do you say, we got to send some pressure and put a little more added pressure on the defensive backfield to play straight up man-to-man, probably in a bump and run type of coverage.
Schaefer Baker, 8 catches, 185 yards and a touchdown. Also a nice, tidy one-handed catch earlier in that.
There's the pressure.
Pressure coming, and underneath, no. Kobe Williams right in there on the intended target. Schaefer Baker of the Riders. 3rd down ahead.
When you know there's pressure coming as a DB, you can take off and go. Here's the pressure up front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're going to look at see which 7 are coming. Guess what? All 7. One free hitter forces a quick throw. Kobe Williams knows he can break downhill.
Alex Hale has not had a field goal over 40 yards. His longest attempt was 47 this season. This is a 48-yard try to get them within 2. And Hale puts it through. His longest field goal of the season, at an important time too, as both teams in the points department enter the 30s. Hale makes it a 33-31 game. Edmonton still ahead, 4th quarter. Cody Fajardo, for just the 3rd time in his career, has thrown for over 400 yards. He's at 422. His career high suits is 430, just 8 yards behind.
Should get that on this series.
The way this is going.
Well, the way it's been going. But you know, the numbers we can really get caught up into sometimes, and all that really matters to number 7 is the win.
Trying to get to 6-1 in the top record in the Canadian Football League. Best in the West. And there's some yardage, and that'll do it. It's a career high for Cody Fajardo. He's into the 430s now in passing and still going.
Well, for instance, his biggest game coming into this one was 395 against the BC Lions and lost that one. His lowest total in passing yards was against Montreal this year and won that one. So, you know, again, we get caught up in the analytics, and it's fun to do it and track it. But sometimes they don't tell the full story. He wants the W, and so does Trevor Harris, waiting for his turn.
More important to them. And Fajardo has them near midfield. They're up by 2. The toss to Rankin. And again, the Riders doing a good job, and one of the top running backs in the CFL this year came into that carry with 39 yards. That's his 11th carry, and still coming at a premium for Rankin.
What a pickup to get Josh Woods in the offseason. He's been such a solid defender. How about that 107-yard pick 6 this year already?
Got that a couple of weeks ago against Hamilton. defense certainly helped out of that. So it's a loss of a couple of yards for Rankin. A second and long here for Fajardo. Four-man rush over the middle. It's caught. It's Brendan O'Leary-Orange, who was the star receiver of Edmonton in their first possession with a couple of catches, including a touchdown, and he gets it close enough, perhaps, for short yardage here. It'll be third and short coming up.
Let's go for it. Let's go. Let's go.
How much room they gave him underneath there on second and long.
Well, they debate what they're going to do. For Mark Gillum, this is more than a yard. This is closer to 2. They're at the Rider 48. Now to use one of their timeouts before the 3-minute warning, and they do now.
Timeout, Edmonton.
Yeah, and not a bad time to use it. You know, when you have to make a decision here and make sure you know exactly how far you need, whether or not you decide to go for it or maybe try to cough and kick it here.
Timer, can we please reset the clock to 5:21? 5:21.
Put it in the corner and see if you can make a long field. But got to use it before the 3-minute warning. And
Close to 2 yards they need. The offense still out there with Cody Fajardo at quarterback in shotgun. Third down. Whoa! Bobbles the ball! And then tosses it out, and the Riders have it. Their ball. This play isn't over. Still going. Still going. All the way down near the Edmonton 20. A disaster on that third down. They spot the ball inside the 25. Saskatchewan has it. There's a play that went wrong at short yardage.
Well, you got to give the fans here at Mosaic Stadium an assist on this one, because clearly a communication issue between Mark Corte, the center, and Cody Fajardo, quarterback, trying to get that ball. The ball was snapped when he wasn't ready for it. Hit his hip, hit the ground, and he saw Rankin. See how it surprised him? He saw Rankin there. Now that's a lateral. If he did that forward in any way, it's a forward pass, even if it's underhand. But he did it lateral backwards. It's a live ball. Saskatchewan scoops it, and away they go.
And all the way inside the 25 now. Down by just 2, and they're in business. Short yardage running play there. Tempers flaring as well with Logan and Johnny Johnson. Antoine Brooks, the one that came up with the ball after that lateral by Fajardo after he struggled with the snap. What a turn of events this is.
Yeah, the snap was hot and surprised him. Clearly, Corte couldn't hear the cadence.
Thomas Bertrand in for the injured A.J. Ouellette. Looks like he had a right knee injury earlier in the half. Out of the game, Bertrand picked up 3. And it's a 2nd and 7 coming up. They're already in range to retake the lead for what it's worth. Still an eternity left at 4.5 minutes. But thinking touchdown here. For Trevor Harris. Has time. Looks to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Saskatchewan. But there's a flag out on the play. Sitting in the Roughrider or Edmonton end zone. And it looks like it's going against
Offensive
Saskatchewan.
pass interference. Saskatchewan, number 19. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Emelis is going to push the coverage inward and then try to get some width and get over to the cone. And as he comes inside, right at the goal line there, the push to Cordell Jackson's helmet is the call on the field. Now, decision. But there was definitely a push from Sam Emilus to the helmet of Cordell Jackson as he tried to widen that go route.
So that pushes them 10 yards back, outside the 30 now, and a 2nd and 17, 4:03 and counting now, here in the fourth quarter. Harris reloads with time, but runs out of it. Sacked, and it's his old teammate Malik Carney coming in to push them back even further, and now it would be a long field goal try to take the lead.
Three-man pressure here for Edmonton. And this one's going to disappoint the O-line for the Saskatchewan Roughriders with just three-man pressure and Carney getting home.
So Alex Hale is out. Last time he hit from 48. This time it's a 46-yard try. And he pushes that one wide to his left. And Javon Leake brings it out. No point given up in a 2-point game as Leake is still in the move to the 15, out of bounds close to the 20. And Alex Hale.
I would suggest, again, this is rule change department here, but that miss was hot. And Javon Leake takes it out. If he lets that go, there's no point if it goes out the back of the end zone without him playing it. So, again, let's take a look at this kick. Would you predict that that one's going out the back of the end zone?
Had a lot of power on it and was kicked still well in the end zone on the miss.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that that would have gone out the back of the end zone, and that's a decision that the sideline makes.
This is the 3-minute warning. This is the 3-minute warning.
And then Javon Leake has to make on the fly.
A lot of natural instincts for returners and old habits. Takes a while to change them.
Yes.
They have the ball at the 20, though. Edmonton
Still trying to figure out when it is to make this decision. That's how deep Javon Leake is. This ball is line drive. It's not the point that matters here when he takes it out. It's the field position. He only gets it now to, the 15, 17-yard line. They would have had it on the 40. So even if Edmonton goes 2 and out here, punting from your own 5 or 10-yard line, very different than up here around the 30.
So they give him the spot at the 20, but you're right, it would have been at the 40. See what their offense can do at a critical point. 3 minutes on the clock. 2-point lead. And Justin Rankin at most 2 yards before he's pushed back. So if they go 2 and out, if they don't convert the second down, that fuels your point that much more.
Well, Trevor Harris will get it somewhere around midfield depending on the return. Had they gone 2 and out from the 40, and still a play to go here. But if they did, you're looking at making Trevor Harris drive the field to try and get the winning points.
2nd and 8. 2:40 and counting. Fourth quarter. 33-31 Edmonton. Big second down. Fajardo has time to the right. It is caught, and it is a first down. Austin Mack did a big second half, and that's enough to, or very close to it. Excuse me. This could be very close, depending on how they spot it. This might actually be 3rd and short coming up.
Let's go full circle here, Rod, because that's the accurate throw to Mack so that he can get the extra yak yards up the middle. See how it's right in his wheelhouse? Takes that ball, turns up, gets that extra 3. That gets him the new set of downs.
Thought he made it to the 30. They spot it just behind. This is 3rd and inches now. Cole Snyder.
Baby!
He got stuck.
I don't know.
Devin Adams came in. It was 3rd and very short. This spot is everything. He had to get it to the 30. He was met right away.
Boy, this is going to be close. This is going to be close.
The Elks lead the league in turnover ratio, but this second half has not been kind. At the play earlier, where does Tom Valesi put the ball down? That does not look like it's going to be enough. And Corey May senses it. What next for Mark Killam and the Edmonton Elks? Second straight 3rd down try. The last one, the snap was bobbled.
I think they're going to
The
take a
replay
look.
center has adjusted the spot. It's going to be short of the 30. I'm going to move the ball and then measure.
Well, if it's short of the 30,
Then he didn't get it.
this is going to be Saskatchewan football.
So the replay center helped with the spot of the ball in real time. There is the ball right there, and it's short of this line right here. So that's how the replay center can help with this marking, because the official on the spot actually marked it with his foot and then moved his foot a little bit, and I think that's why both teams were getting a little anxious. But that's short.
Saskatchewan takes over on downs again. Another turnover committed by Edmonton. And it's right at the 30. Another chance for the Riders. Down by 2. 2:20 on the clock. Still plenty of time in a four-man rush. Harris. Open! And it's caught. Caught by, let's go, Keyshawn Johnson. And they get that much closer.
Boy, this gets hard. Really gets hard if you're a defender, a defensive back playing. You got a shallow guy and you got a guy over the top, and Cody Fajardo with great accuracy puts it between the two of them. And that's Cordell Jackson and J.J. Ross working together. And I saw Ross turn around, shaking his head, going, man, doesn't seem whatever we try, not working.
Keyshawn Johnson to the right this time. The toss. Bertrand Houdon's up to 5 and taken down round the 3. That was on a first and goal. We got a second and goal coming up here now. Bertrand Houdon in for A.J. Ouellette.
Options here for Mark Mueller. Tommy Stevens could be an option. Got 2 cracks from the 1 or the 3-yard line.
Well, if they can get it into the end zone, then Edmonton would need a touchdown coming back the other way in the final couple of minutes.
Yeah, and the last time they were in a position like this, they left Trevor Harris out there.
Harris is out. 152. Here we go in the second down. End zone look. No. It falls shy of the intended receiver.
Did he throw it under the crossbar? It looked like...
Wondering if it even grazed it again.
No, I don't know if it was that close, but
it was low.
I just wondered it because it was so low and it was a wide open receiver. They were wide of the post, so I won't give him that out.
Yeah, no, that was well wide, but it was stunning to see how low it was leaving his hand.
It was just the reaction from Trevor with his hands. When you're upwards of 75, closing in on 80% completion percentage, those ones drive you nuts.
So this is a chip shot now for Hale, who missed the last time out from 46. Put that one wide, puts this one through, and back and forth again as we have another lead change. 1:46, so plenty of time on the clock. 7th lead change. Saskatchewan in front again, but by a mere point. 34-33.
Now, if Cody Fajardo can put together a drive here, remember what happened in Hamilton with Hiralahu and the new rules. If they can put together a drive and get themselves into field goal range, the field goal has to be made to win. A wide field goal does not necessarily guarantee a single and you're moving on if it goes out without being played. So there's a lot of work to be done for Cody Fajardo before that could happen or not happen, but we've seen it once already this year.
Seen a lot of things lately that relate to new rules. 2 last week that applied this year, and then 1 tonight hitting the crossbar that will apply next year when they get moved back 15 yards. What a game. 146 on it. Not over yet. Just a 1-point difference. Javon Leake, one of the Elks, back again. As Hale will kick this off from the 30. 1:46. 5-1 Elks. 4-1 Saskatchewan Roughriders for first place in the West. Leake from the 8. Across the 20. Takes a hop. It's up to 30 and a flag is out.
Absolutely can't get a penalty on the return team here. If this penalty is against Edmonton. It just made Cody Fajardo's job that much harder.
Well, they are marching it back against the Elks.
During the return, holding. Edmonton number 96. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's just a terrible time to get a holding call when every yard will matter on. You only have a minute 41 to drive the field.
So the ball goes all the way back to the 15. They're a point behind. We're back inside the 10, excuse me, at the 8. And a 1st and 10. 3-man rush. Fajardo. Trouble finding a receiver, and good coverage there by Jameer Thurman on TJ Luther. Incomplete, 2nd down.
Yeah, Fajardo wanted the Austin Mack curl and go. Just a double move that didn't work. Bucks the pump fake. That was to Mack. He went on the go route and was covered well.
Both offenses have made quite a statement tonight. But the Saskatchewan Roughriders defense has a chance to make a big statement now. 2nd and 10. 135. 4-man rush from the end zone. It is caught. Brendan O'Leary North. Now he gets it up to around the 15. Not enough for a first down. 3rd and 3 coming up.
Get in that hurry up, call the plays, basically on the line of scrimmage here. But this is the ball game.
Call it 2. And yeah, you have to think it's ball game. Quickly, Fajardo caught. First down, up to the 30.
Right in the hole. He couldn't get it out of his holster fast enough. That was take the snap from center and the hot throw to the outside to get a new set and keep this thing alive.
Fajardo again. Down the rail to the right. In the hands of the Riders, but incomplete, out of bounds. It was good coverage there for Saskatchewan. Austin Mack wants a flag, but does not get one. That's Marcus Sales.
Two into the boundary. This one for Cody Fajardo is pretty well covered. I mean, you can't cover it any better than that.
Edmonton is challenging for pass interference. We'll review the play.
When you look at that replay, Austin Mack running his route, looks like he runs into Marcus Sales. We'll have another look. But they're challenging at that. Now Mark Killam is. It stands, it's a 2nd and 10.
If it doesn't, you don't have a timeout. Just before this is the top of the route where the ball arrives, and the contact here we are on the outside, and Marcus Sales, he gets pushed from behind. That's almost offensive. That's not a penalty.
Here's the call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Edmonton will be charged a timeout. 2nd down.
That might be a big timeout.
1:01 on the clock.
Yeah, that could be a big timeout. Mark Killam rolled the dice there.
Another big 2nd and long coming up here for Edmonton.
Marcus Sales ran the road, and there was no penalty there.
Schaefer Baker. What a night he's had. Firing him up. Riders trying to hang on. Final minute. Regulation. 4-man rush. Fajardo to the right again. It's caught. No! A good hit by Milligan. And the ball came out. Forcing it out and forcing him down to a 3rd and 10.
When you come off the injury list, sometimes it takes you a quarter or two to settle back in, and wouldn't be long before Roland Milligan made his mark on this game. That's closing downhill in a curry, and he just jars that ball out of there.
But TJ Luther, so here we go. Under a minute. His longest of the season is 50.
Yeah, I thought that thinking that loss was a down over. But it's third down. You got to take the shot here.
Blanchard, his third year out of Laval. I remember when they were in Kelowna for Touchdown Kelowna a few weeks ago. He had a bit of a breeze at his back, not that strong, and he was comfortably hitting them between 55 and 60. He's got a leg. Wind does not appear to be much of a factor here. Quite a night. All sorts of momentum swings, and it will come down to a final kick for the Edmonton Elks. Make it, they win, and miss it, assuming on a long kick that the Riders can just get it out of the end zone, and Saskatchewan will win. From this distance, certainly possibility of a rouge not really being considered here. 57 yards for the win for Edmonton. Down, kicked, good. Blanchard does it on the final play of the game. A walk-off winner for Cody Fajardo, Mark Killam, and the Edmonton Elks, who improved to 6-1 with this victory at Mosaic Stadium tonight.
Every little detail matters. When Cody Fajardo was sacked, he scratched for a couple more yards to save the loss. He gets that throw halfway to the sticks, and just enough, just close enough for Blanchard to make the winning kick.
Another look. This on Blanchard, the hero, from 57 yards away.
Money. No doubt at all.
Jake Julian with the hold.
It was almost like he played the fade.
And disappointment here at Mosaic Stadium. But for Mark Killam, a team that has struggled so much in the last few years, the Edmonton Elks on top of the West, leading the way at 6-1 with a walk-off winner.
An outstanding football game, and you know there's been a lot of people that have said about the Edmonton Elks, are they for real? Because you know they beat Ottawa twice. It's been a struggling football team. They beat BC when Nathan Rourke was out early in that game in their last one. And I think a lot of people were saying, are these Edmonton Elks for real? Well, I think you got your answer. What a game.
On top of the West, and for now anyway, on top of the CFL. Montreal leading the East at 5-1. Edmonton now 6-1. Malik Carney comes back to Mosaic and wins, and Cody Fajardo has gone over 500 yards for the first time in his career. 510 yards on the night.
What a display. Two veteran quarterbacks, 896 total passing yards. They put on a show tonight.
Friday Night Football in the West as well tomorrow from Winnipeg with the Stampeders meeting the Blue Bombers. A showdown at the top of the West, and it belongs to the Edmonton Elks on a very emotional night, emotional week here in Saskatchewan. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. So long.